So today we'll be starting chapter 10, the techniques of hearing and remembering. Okay. So with our lips we should be chanting, with our ears we should be hearing, and with our heart we should be crying out for the Lord like a baby does for its mother. So what is Prabhupada saying? We should chant like that. See, it should be like externally we are chanting, but with our ears we are hearing what we are chanting. So our chanting should be very clear, word to word, and that word to word must enter into our ears. And when we chant, hearing it sincerely, that mantra will enter into our heart. Okay, and it will enter into our heart, and our heart should be crying out for the Lord like a baby cries for its mother. Okay, it is like a desperate cry, like when small, right? The baby it cries out of hunger, whatever be the reason. Like how a mother, a baby is desperate. It has nobody except the mother, right? So our crying should also be that nobody else can help us. It is only Krishna who can help us. So that crying should come like that. Should be desperate. So then only will we be able to see the presence of the Lord. Okay, if you are so desperate, that comes by hearing properly the Hare Krishna mantra. So here we've been learning about the techniques of hearing, hearing and remembering Krishna. Okay, so techniques of hearing and remembering. So 43 is hearing. So in hearing, we'll see there are many parts again. See, what is Shravanam? Shravanam means hearing about Krishna. So hearing about what? Hearing about the names of Krishna, his pastimes, his qualities, his teachings, and especially from authentic sources like the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. And why is hearing so powerful? Okay, our see our the main thing is like our ears are like doors to the heart. They are the entrance to the heart. Okay, whatever we repeatedly hear, it slowly shapes our thoughts. Okay, whatever we hear, that is what is stored in our mind. Okay, that those become our thoughts. See, if we hear of gossip, fear grows. And if we hear of anger, anger grows. If we hear of Krishna, remembrance of Krishna grows. And we should know that the spiritual sound is not ordinary sound. It is described as transcendental vibration. The mantra that we are chanting, the Hare Krishna mantra, it is not got from the material world. It has come directly from Goloka Vrindavan itself. So it is transcendental vibration. So when that vibration enters through our ears, it begins cleaning the heart. So cleansing of the heart happens because in our heart there are many impurities. Like we have anger, krodha, kama, krodha, mada, matsarya we have. So when we hear the vibration, it enters through our ears, it begins cleaning all the impurities that are there in the heart. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also stresses on the importance of hearing. He says, because hearing is so easy, right? We don't have to, like struggle. Nowadays, if you just have a phone, online, we can listen in the YouTube or wherever possible, we can hear to the Vaishnava speeches, right? So hearing is so easy. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he stresses on hearing. See, you don't need scholarship, you don't need wealth, you don't need a high position. You only need ears and sincerity. Okay, so from hearing comes faith. So if you hear what do you get? Faith, attraction towards Krishna, faith towards Krishna, attraction, service, and love. So it is like hearing is the seed. Chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping all grow from that seed. So main thing is hearing. Okay, hearing is the seed, and if that hearing is done properly, what happens from the seed? What grows? Chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping. So all that grow from your hearing. That is the seed. Okay, so next we'll see the different types of hearing. Nama Shravan, then pastimes, Charita Shravan, then qualities, Gunadi Shravan. So in Nama Shravan, we'll see Snake bitten, cured by mantra, Hare Krishna mantra should be chanted and heard. So in the Garuda Purana it is said. So in the Garuda Purana it is said that, see here, the material life is compared to a person bitten by a snake. See, when a snake bites someone, the person may not die immediately. First, he becomes unconscious. He cannot think clearly. He cannot act properly. So, in the same way, when we are covered by Maya or illusion, we forget who we really are. We forget that we are not the soul. We forget that we are the soul. Okay, we think we are this body. So we forget our relationship with Krishna. We forget our real duty. Okay, so spiritually, we are like someone asleep or unconscious. Okay, and the Puranas say that just as a special mantra can awaken a snake bitten person, spiritual sound can awaken the conditioned soul. Okay, that spiritual sound is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, this sound is not ordinary sound. It carries spiritual power. So when we hear it sincerely, the heart, I mean, like what happens is ignorance reduces, faith begins, and remembrance of Krishna returns. Okay, so that is what the snake bitten, the thing comparison is given to. Okay, so how the person who's bitten by a snake can be revived by that special mantra. Similarly, the people of this material world can be connected to Krishna by this sound vibration of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is said in the Garuda Puran. So next, Charita Shravan. Freedom from hunger, thirst, lamentation, and nectar gives youthfulness, vitality, intoxication. Simply by hearing, drunk gives spiritual vigor. So let's see what this is about. So in Charita Shravan, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said by Sukadev Goswami advises Parikshit Maharaj that a person should stay where great spiritual teachers speak about the Lord's pastimes. Okay, this is Sukadev Goswami telling Parikshit Maharaj. See that a person should stay where great spiritual teachers speak about the Lord's pastimes. See, we should carefully and regularly hear from such pure devotees. And their words are compared to a sweet, cooling nectar flowing from their mouths. Okay, if somebody continues to hear these spiritual topics, they become free from material desires, fear, sadness, confusion, illusions about the body and the world. So, by sincerely hearing about the Lord from authorized parampara, the heart becomes purified and peaceful, and one rises above the material suffering. So, our hearing should be from parampara, from authorized people, not from anybody and everybody. Otherwise, it will not have any effect. So, you should hear from authorized people who are coming from that Guru Parampara in that disciplic succession. You should hear from them. Nowadays, you see in internet, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everybody is talking about, every normal person is also talking about spirituality. And it looks so attractive to us that we start listening to them. And we get confused. Oh, is this right or is this right? I'm following this. So that's why it is said when you listen to everybody, you get confused. So that is why you should listen to only authorities or teachers who are coming from that disciplic succession or Guru Parampara. Okay, from an authorized parampara, we should listen, not to anybody and everybody. See, all these people, they do for name, fame on the YouTube. Normal people, just for money, name, fame, what do you say, recognition. They do all these videos. So we should not get attracted to all such videos. Okay. And also, besides that, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that in the present age of Kali, it is very difficult to perfectly follow all the Vedic rules and deep scriptural studies. See, we can't follow all the Vedic rules and we can't study all the Vedas, right? It's so time consuming and so difficult. So much time is needed, and where do we have the time for all that? But there is, they're saying here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, but there is one powerful and practical method. What is that? Hearing. If a person sincerely hears about Krishna from genuine self realized devotees and acharyas, that hearing alone can purify the heart and remove material contamination. Okay, but we should not hear from professional speakers. See, these professional speakers are like, they think they are some, nowadays it's a fashion now. All these IITians, they IIT people, they write their own thesis, they do research on the Bhagavad Gita, and they come out with their own this thing, inferences. They create their own philosophy. So such kind of Bhagavad Gita, or from such kind of people, we should not take the Bhagavad Gita. So where we just get to listen to their philosophy. It is not the philosophy of Krishna. So nobody talks about Krishna. If you see in many of the Bhagavad Gitas, Krishna himself is not mentioned. Bhakti to Krishna is not mentioned at all. It is just you'll hear about philosophy, mundane philosophy. You'll hear from them. Okay, what is Gita where Krishna himself is not mentioned about? Right? What is that Gita? It is not a Bhagavad Gita itself. It is his Gita then. Okay, so we should not hear from professional speakers or people without realization. Okay, so such people, if we hear, we will not get anything. But if we hear from self realized devotees and acharyas, we will definitely get the benefit. Our heart will get cleansed and material contamination will be removed. So, when we hear from true devotees, their words are compared to sweet, cooling nectar flowing like moonlight into our ears. See, it's so poetic. Prabhupada mentions this, yeah. See, their words are compared to sweet, cooling nectar flowing like moonlight into our ears. Okay, so what do we understand in Kali Yuga? Sincere hearing from authentic devotees is enough to awaken self realization and to purify the heart. Okay, and in the Bhagavad Gita, it is explained that a person who cannot give up, he cannot give up material desires unless he finds something higher and better. Right, in Bhagavad Gita, all of us read, right? So we cannot give up material desires until we get a taste for something higher and better. So simply, if we whimsically try to reject lower pleasures, you can't do that, right? So the heart needs a superior engagement to leave the lower one. So in this world, people are so absorbed in activities of the lower material energy. But when someone begins to hear about Krishna and his transcendental activities, he experiences a higher taste. When Krishna spoke on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it may have looked like an ordinary conversation between two friends. But in reality, Krishna's words were spiritual nectar. There is so much realization in that. Right? When we hear those words from Krishna with faith, that's why Arjuna's confusion and illusion was disappeared. Right? When he heard them with faith, Arjuna heard them with faith, his confusion and illusion disappeared. So we should also hear like Arjuna so that we develop the same faith like Arjuna and all our confusion is removed. Okay, so the main point is, see, the lower material desires will fade away naturally when one experiences a higher spiritual joy, and that happens when you hear about Krishna. So you get that higher happiness when you hear about Krishna. So then the lower desires, material desires, will naturally fade away. Okay, and one more is given here, right? See, in spiritual language, what does nectar mean? Nectar means something that gives life. Amritam they say, right? Amrita means it's that which gives life, freshness, and deep joy. And material intoxication makes a person dull and forgetful, right? I mean, like, even though you don't have experience, but we must have at least seen in movies. Intoxication makes a person dull and forgetful, right? When you drink or something like that, right? Liquor and all that we see in movies or something like that. But hearing about Krishna from sources like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, it awakens and it refreshes our heart. It gives spiritual strength. Okay, so just by hearing about Krishna from the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, it awakens and it refreshes our heart. It gives spiritual strength. So much emphasis is given to hearing. So just by hearing, our heart gets purified and all our sinful desires go away. So much benefit is there just by hearing. So that's why from at least today onwards, we'll try to focus on more on hearing the Hare Krishna mantra perfectly. Right? Generally, we chant the Hare Krishna mantra whimsically, as if we have to finish our 16 rounds. We chant in such a speed that as if we have to catch some train or something. We say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. We don't know how many words we are eating away, but we are in such a hurry that we want to just finish the 16 rounds. Right. So we'll try, at least see after knowing the benefits of hearing, at least from now onwards, we'll try to pronounce each word perfectly and so that we hear it properly and we pronounce it properly, hear it properly. Slowly our purification takes place and we get a higher taste in spirituality. So it gives us more spiritual strength. Okay, and we try to hear about the pastimes, hearing the leelas, guna leela, guna. I mean, hearing about the name, form, activities, qualities of Krishna. So we should hear all of these also. Right? It purifies us. So gunadi shravan. So gunadi means what? Qualities. See, if someone truly wants pure devotion to Krishna, that person should regularly hear about his names, qualities, pastimes, his glories, and everything. Okay, and by doing this, what happens? All inauspicious things in the heart will be destroyed. See, what does inauspiciousness mean in the heart? Mean we have so many impurities in the heart. Like I said, mada, kama, krodha, mada, matsarya, like anger, jealousy, greed, pride, fear, so many material desires we have. Okay, so these are like dust covering the mirror. These impurities are like dust covering a mirror, but the soul is generally pure. So, but the heart is pure, is covered. But when you hear about Krishna, it is like wiping the mirror again and again. So the dust is removed. So the impurities are removed when you hear about Krishna. Okay, so why do we have to hear? Because Krishna is praised through transcendental sound. So that sound is not ordinary, it carries spiritual power. So when it enters through the ears, it slowly changes the heart from inside by purification. So when that mantra, when it enters that Krishna Katha or the chanting of the Hare Krishna enters your ears, naturally purification takes place. Okay. So let's go to the next one. See, so hearing Shravana means what? We discussed three. Nama Shravana, Leela Shravana, Gunadi Shravana. Means name, pastimes, qualities, all we discussed, right? So we discussed name, qualities, pastimes, glories of Krishna. What will happen? What is the result of hearing? We become purified. Next is expecting Lord's mercy. So practicing Krishna consciousness in adverse situation. So one is like accepting reactions as mercy, repeatedly offering obeisances within. And last one is remembrance and meditation. Rupa Dhyanam, Guna Dhyanam, Krida Dhyanam, and Seva Dhyanam. So we'll see in detail each. So now we'll see expecting Lord's mercy. That is 44th point. In that we'll see different points. Suffering can be transformed into an opportunity for sadhana bhakti. Through Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, we'll see what two ways are mentioned. Okay, so in that, Lord's mercy, when can we expect? When can we expect? So suffering can be transformed into an opportunity for sadhana bhakti. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, it mentions two ways how suffering can be an opportunity for sadhana bhakti. Accept as mercy, knowing deserves more. Repeatedly offer prayers in mind while undergoing sinful actions. So let us understand this. What is this? See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that a person who patiently waits for the Lord's mercy while peacefully accepting the results of his past mistakes and who continues to offer heartfelt prayers becomes eligible for liberation. See, he is suffering right now, but he does not complain. He patiently waits for the Lord's mercy. He does not complain or he does not do anything. He patiently waits. He bears all that. Okay, and while he peacefully accepts the results of his past mistakes, he understands that, oh, maybe I must have hurt someone in my previous janma. So maybe I'm getting the reaction now. So I will accept it without retaliating, and he accepts that. Okay, and he still continues his devotional service while accepting that mistake. He's accepting that bad karma now. Okay, and he continues his devotional service. So such a person, though suffering, he continues his devotional service, he becomes eligible for liberation. So this is a very important instruction for devotees, because generally, say, a devotees think that I am doing so much of bhakti, I am chanting, I am doing seva, I am hearing, I am reading. Why am I facing still so many problems? See, I do bhakti so that I should not get any problems. Now, in fact, after I've taken to bhakti, still I'm getting more problems than earlier. Then what is the use of my doing bhakti? That is what we think. Right? But Krishna says, see, this material world itself is dukkhalayam. How can we escape dukkhas from here? There is no way we can escape dukkha from here. But the only thing is that when you come to Krishna consciousness, all these problems seem insignificant, because these problems are temporary problems. Right? We understand that this is insignificant. And to tolerate all that pain, Krishna gives us the strength. He does not say, Krishna never says that if you do my bhakti, I will remove all the problems. See, Pandavas were pure devotees. Didn't they face problems throughout their life? If they were pure devotees, then they should not be, and they were doing Krishna bhakti, right? Then they should not get any problems. They themselves were pure devotees, still they had so many problems. Where are we in front of the Pandavas? Do we have a right to even question Krishna? And is our bhakti what we do compared to Arjuna and all? What is our bhakti? We have no right to complain also. But still, Krishna is so merciful, just because we are at least in that path of Krishna consciousness, Krishna, he gives us that strength, he gives us that understanding how to come out of that situation. But Krishna never says that I will remove the problems, I will not give difficulties. Right? We will get difficulties here, but he will give us the strength to face those difficulties. Because our way of looking at the problem will be different now. See, the way a person looks at the problem, a materialistic person looks at the problem is different, and the way a devotee looks at it is different. Okay, now a devotee feels that problem is infinite, it's very small. What is this problem in front of Krishna? Right? Krishna is so great. This problem is so small. So Krishna can easily take away the problem. So that is the confidence. See, when any problem comes, they pray to Krishna. Then Krishna gives them the strength to overcome, strength or intelligence to overcome that situation. Okay, but please never think that problems will go away by doing bhakti. They will surely come. In fact, more will come because Krishna will test his devotees more now. See, the exam will be given to people who come to school. Those who don't come to school, there will be no exam, right? They will not be tested. They will have no exams. Only students who come to the school, study, they will write the exam. They will be given exam papers. Those who don't come to school, those who don't study, they will not have exam. So it's like that. So devotees who are doing bhakti, they will only get exams. So you have to pass the exam. Until you pass, Krishna keeps giving the same paper again and again. Okay, so don't think these difficulties will not come. Krishna will test you. He will give you more and more difficulties to see that whether you'll have faith on him, whether you'll stay with him throughout. Like the Pandavas, right? Though they got the difficulties, they stayed throughout. They never blamed Krishna, right? But Krishna was always throughout with them and helped them throughout. In fact, when all their problems were solved and they got their kingdom back and Krishna was about to return to Dwaraka, Kunti Maharani, she runs and she asks Krishna, see, when problems were there, you were there with us. Now, no problems you have, you're leaving. So that's why we want you, Krishna. That's why you give all problems. Will anybody be there in this person who will ask like Kunti Maharani, give me problems, give me problems? We all will say, take away problems, take our problems away. So Kunti Maharani, she's so exalted that she's saying, see Krishna, when problems were there, you were there with us to help us out. But when problems are over, you're leaving us. But we want your association. So you please give us more problems. Give us more problems. Okay, but we are all not on that exalted state. I don't mean to say that all of you ask for problems, but I'm just telling that we will have problems. But Krishna, when we pray to Krishna, he gives us the strength to come out of those problems. He gives us the intelligence to come out of those problems. Okay, so that's why a devotee, he should not think that, okay, oh, I'm practicing devotion, why am I still facing problems? He should not think like that. Okay, so there will be definitely problems because this material world is designed like that. So no conditioned soul is free from that immediately. But here is the difference. See, when someone starts acting in Krishna consciousness, they do not get new karma. See, because when you're acting in Krishna consciousness, you do activities to please Krishna, right? So your activities become akarma. So you will not have any good or bad karma. So there'll be no reaction. Okay? So even if past reactions are still coming, no new ones will be made because now you are doing everything in Krishna consciousness. Okay? So you from whatever now you are doing, it will become akarma. Right? So if a devotee continuously is serving seriously even through difficulties and he simply depends on Krishna's mercy, then he becomes qualified to return to the Lord. Okay, so if he just continues doing service seriously even through difficulties, don't think that in difficulties, oh, I've done so much for Krishna, he's not saving me, in fact he's giving me troubles, and you should not leave. See, when you're in trouble, then only you should catch the feet of Krishna. See, when you have disease itself, you have to go to the doctor. At that time, you should not say, oh, let this disease be cured, then I will go. Now I'm not in a position to go and see the doctor. I don't have the strength to go and see the doctor. When you have the disease, you have to go to the doctor. When you are in trouble, you have to go to Krishna. That is not the time when you leave Krishna. Okay, this we have to understand. Okay, so a sincere devotee, he patiently serves the Lord through all situations. Okay, then he's the perfect person. He is fit to go to the Lord's abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, so what is the main message here is See, don't lose faith during suffering. You just do your duty, continue serving Krishna, depend on Krishna, just wait for his mercy. Okay, that steady faith makes one spiritually qualified for liberation. Okay, so next 45 is remembrance, to think of Krishna in a general way. Okay, so let's see about remembrance. This is also very important for us. See, if somehow a person firmly keeps Krishna in his mind and remembers his eternal connection with him, so that is called remembrance. Always keep Krishna, never forget Krishna, and there is a saying. So
Always
always,
think of Krishna, never forget Krishna.
exactly, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So this is the thing. You should
Krishna.
never forget Krishna. He should always be there in your thoughts, mind. You should always remember him. Okay, you should have that eternal connection with Krishna. That is called remembrance. See, why do we chant initially at least minimum 16 rounds is so that in the remaining 22 hours that we are working, right? That time we should be able to remember Krishna. See, when we are walking on the road, we can chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Or when we are doing shopping, we can say Hare Krishna mantra. We can chant Hare Krishna mantra. Or when we are, whatever we are doing, we are traveling in a bus or if we're driving a car, we can say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So that is like remembering Krishna. So the 2 hours of chanting that you're doing physically is a practice so that you can remember without the mala. You can remember Krishna through your mind. So it is just a practice. Those 2 hours that we're chanting through the beats it should help us to remember Krishna throughout the day. Anytime, see, when we are bathing, also we can chant the Hare Krishna mantra. When we are brushing our teeth, we can um, um, remember the Hare Krishna mantra, right? So we should make a remembrance in such a way that whatever activity we are doing, we try to remember Krishna. That's all. Either through chanting or through bhajan or through listening a Vaishnava speech, or that's what you can hear pastimes of Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, from authorized parampara. Don't listen here and there, otherwise it will divert your mind to confusion. So listen always from authorized parampara, right? Ours is such a prominent parampara. It's like we are blessed to be associated with this parampara. This is ours is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya parampara, right? We belong to the Brahma Sampradaya. So such a proud parampara. We have such great exalted acharyas in our parampara who have sacrificed their everything so that they can educate people like us who are so ignorant. We don't know who we are. We used to think that we are this body. And we used to give all the comforts to this body. And we used to think that when the body is dead, everything is over. But now, because of our very founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, we've come to know so much. We're so thankful to Srila Prabhupada that without him, we wouldn't have got all this knowledge. In fact, we should be thankful to ISKCON Mangaluru's temple president Namanishta Das Prabhuji, who's giving all this education free of cost to us. Right? How merciful they are, right? So we should try to absorb all this knowledge and we should try to implement all this. Right? Prabhupada, he just used to sleep for 1 hour, 2 hours, and he wrote all these books for us. That's why Prabhupada said, I live through my books. I don't die. I always live through my books. Whatever doubts you have, their disciples used to ask him, Prabhupada, how do we, I mean, like now you are there, you are clarifying our doubts. Now, after you leave, who will clarify? Prabhupada said, I don't die. I always live through my books. Whatever doubts you have, if you read my books, you will get it, it will be clarified, he says. Okay, so merciful are our acharyas. So why not listen to the speeches of our Srila Prabhupada? and our previous acharyas, our Prabhupada disciples, right? They're all pure devotees. Why not listen to their speeches, right? Okay. So, in the Vishnu Purana, it is said that simply remembering the Supreme Lord brings all auspiciousness. See, just remembering Krishna, it brings all auspiciousness. Why? Because the Lord is eternal, pure, and unborn. He is Satchidananda, right? So when the mind remembers Him, it becomes purified. Okay, just remembering Him. Imagine just remembering the Hare Krishna mantra once, knowingly or unknowingly, we become purified, right? And in the Padma Purana, it is said if a person remembers Lord Krishna at any time, and especially at the time of death, he becomes freed from sinful reactions. So, remembrance is so powerful. So we should try to remember Krishna whenever, wherever, however possible, through either his leelas, either through his name, either through his guna, or through his pastimes. However, we should try to remember him. Throughout the day, we can remember him. It's very easy. We may think it is difficult. It's not at all difficult. See, when we are cooking, we can listen to a bhajan or we can listen um, to a speech, a Leela, Krishna's Leelas from the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from an authorized parampara. When we are sweeping or when we are mopping, also we can listen. We can nicely put the Bluetooth or earphones and nicely listen. It won't even disturb others. When we're washing the dishes, also we can hear. So our mind is always on Krishna. When we are cooking, also we can, when we are cutting vegetables, we can listen, right? Throughout our mind is there. Morning when we get up, anyway, we do the chanting, our mind is on Krishna. So when we read Prabhupada books, our mind is on Krishna. So throughout the day when we are cooking or when we are mopping, that time also our mind is on Krishna through hearing or through bhajan or whatever, right? So it's practically very easy. It sounds difficult. Many people say, oh, we are so much overloaded materially, we have so much material responsibilities, they say. But it's not so difficult. If it was so difficult, how come so many people are practicing Krishna consciousness? It's the only thing is it's our mindset. We think that we are overloaded materially. If we plan everything and balance both properly, it is very easy actually, in fact. Okay, so keep Krishna in the mind, remembering him while working, while resting, while sleeping, while walking, while praying, while praying, or at the time of death or in ordinary moments. See, when you get pain, also, see, when you sneeze, also, instead of when you say achi, you don't say amma, we say amma, right? Say Krishna. When you fall down and we get up, don't say uima, amma, like that. You say Krishna. Try saying Krishna. Krishna will be so pleased. Oh, he's remembering me, and this time also. When sneezing, also, he's remembering me. So initially, even I tried. I thought, how will I remember? When we sneeze, we say Amma or like that, something like that, right? So now it becomes a practice. Like whenever we get hurt, we say Krishna, oh Krishna. Like when we sneeze, also Krishna, we say. So in everything, like automatically, like unknowingly or knowingly, we get the name of Krishna. That remembrance will help us definitely, right? It becomes a bridge to freedom. That remembrance. Okay. So now let's go to the last one, that is meditation. So Rupa Dhyanam, Rupa means meditation on Krishna's form. Guna Dhyanam means guna, qualities. Krida Dhyanam means the activities of Lord. Seva means service to Krishna. And here we see the story of the South Indian Brahmana who burnt his fingers while mentally cooking. And I think all of you know this famous story. But anyway, just because pastimes of the Lord are always eternal and they are so blissful. So let's just discuss it once again. So meditation means what? Meditation means using your mind to think about God. So it means thinking about the Lord's form, His qualities, and His activities, and how we can serve Him. So meditation does not mean that meditation that we are thinking about nothing, like we do for gnani, like the jnanis and the Ashtanga yogis do, right? We're not talking about that meditation. Okay, it's not that light or energy that we're talking about, or that emptiness of the mind. We are not talking about that. So in Vedic teaching, meditation means always on the personal form of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Okay, so meditation means lovingly thinking about God and keeping Him in your mind. So that personal form of Krishna, Bhagavan, right? So that form we are talking about meditating on, not about the impersonal form. Okay, so in Narsimha Purana, first they are talking about Rupa Dhyanam, Krishna's form. So in Narsimha Purana, it is said that meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is completely spiritual. So when someone focuses the mind on the Lord's lotus feet, the mind becomes peaceful, the heart becomes purified. So one rises above the material pain and pleasure. Okay, and one more point is said in this Narsimha Purana is that even a very sinful person, he can become purified by this meditation. Okay, when how much ever he must have done many sins, such a person can also be purified by such meditation on the lotus feet of Lord Narasimhadev. So that means there is hope for everyone. So if a person sincerely begins to think about the Lord and focus on Him, even past sinful reactions can be removed. Right, the mountains of sinful activities that are there can easily be removed by sincerely thinking and meditating on the form of the Lord. Okay, so meditating on the Lord's lotus feet is powerful and purifying. It lifts a person beyond suffering and can free him from even his past sins. Okay, so merciful Lord is. Okay, and in Vishnu Dharma, it is said that people who always remember Krishna, Krishna means what? His form and his qualities, Guna Dhyanam and Rupa Dhyanam, they're talking about. They become free from sinful reactions. See, when someone keeps thinking about the Lord's form or his good qualities, his pastimes, his service, their heart becomes purified. So no, see, it is said that nobody can enter the kingdom of the God if they are still carrying sinful reactions. Their heart must be clean. And how can the heart be clean? By remembering Him. So when a person sincerely remembers the Lord again and again, sinful reactions gradually disappear. Okay, so by remembering Krishna regularly, a person becomes purified and becomes qualified to enter the spiritual world. Okay, and again in Padma Purana also it is said about the pastimes, means Krida Dhyanam, the activities of Krishna we are talking about, sweet pastimes and wonderful activities, Krida Dhyanam. Okay, so if a person always thinks about the Lord's sweet pastimes and wonderful activities, his heart becomes clean. Okay, and last Seva Dhyanam, there is a story where talking about service to Krishna. So in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, there is a story about a poor Brahmana who lives in South India. He did not have much money, but he was very peaceful. In whatever he had, he was like living very nicely. Okay, but he was very poor. So he thought, whatever I have is by Krishna's will, right? So he was not disturbed by poverty. So one day he heard from a saintly person that devotional service can be done even by meditation. Okay, so if someone cannot physically offer worship, he can do it in his mind and the Lord will accept it. This is Manasa Seva. See, many people, they don't have that money wherein they can bring all the items for serving the Lord, opulent prasadam and all the vessels needed for that. Everything, it's very, very difficult, and to feed prasadam to everybody is also difficult. So they can't do that. So this Brahmana was also like that. He was very poor, but he had this desire to worship the Lord opulently, right? So then he heard through one of the Brahmana's saintly persons that we can do devotional service not physically but even through meditation also. That also will be accepted by the Lord. Okay, so if somebody cannot physically offer worship, he can do it in his mind and the Lord will accept it. Since this Brahmana, he had no wealth, he decided to worship the Lord mentally. Okay, so every day what he would do mentally now, he would bathe, he would sit in a quiet place, he would control his, he would control his breathing, fix his mind on the form of the Lord. Then in his meditation, he would dress the Lord in beautiful clothes and ornaments, right? And ornaments, he would put the costliest ornaments because it is meditation, right? He used to put diamonds, jewels, and everything. So mentally, we can put anything, right? What is the harm, right? So he was dressing the Lord in opulent clothes and ornaments. He nicely cleaned the temple. He got golden and silver pots. He collected water from holy rivers in that golden and silver pots, right? And he offered flowers, nice flowers, fruits, incense, and sandalwood. He performed arati. So he did all this carefully in his mind. Every day for many years, he did that. One day, what happened? He mentally prepared sweet rice for the Lord. Okay, it was very hot. And he wanted to, generally, the sweet should be cold, right? Cold in the sense, at least it should be at normal temperature so that we can enjoy the sweet. But so that's what he wanted to test, whether it is cool enough so that the Lord can have it or not. So he wanted to check if it had cooled enough. So in his meditation, he touched the pot. Suddenly, his real finger became burnt. He was actually doing all this in his meditation, right? He wanted to touch the if the sweet rice was cooled down or not. But it really happened. His real finger became burnt. He was shocked. He was wondering, I was checking in the meditation, but how did my real finger burn? How did this happen? I was doing only in meditation. So at the same time, what was happening in Vaikunta, Lord Narayana was smiling over there. So he was pleased with the Brahmana's sincere devotion. The Lord then he sent a spiritual airplane to bring the Brahmana to his abode. Okay, so the Brahmana he received an eternal palace in Vaikunta. Okay, so what do we understand through this story? See, the Lord is everywhere, right? He sees the heart, even mental service through the mind or in meditation, when done with sincerity and devotion, is accepted by Him, right? True devotion does not depend on wealth or position, it depends on your sincerity. So, if the heart is fully engaged, then the Lord surely He will respond. Okay, it's not, see, what can we feed the Lord actually? We think we are giving Chappan Bhog or 64 items. He is I mean, like, where in Vaikunta, thousands of Lakshmi Devis are serving him. What is our opulent prasadam that we are offering him? We think we are offering, 64, 108 items we are giving. That too, once on special occasions we give. But every day he's getting in Jagannath Puri, every day he gets, right? What is that? What is our offering compared to the offerings done here? And in fact, in Vaikunta, he has thousands of Lakshmi Devi who are offering him much more opulently. So Krishna is not worried about, really, in fact, he's not worried about what we are offering. He sees with how much love and devotion we are offering. So that is important. That's why if you are not able to give physically to the Lord, Lord accepts whatever you are offering through the mind. He sees with how much love and devotion, sincerity that you are offering it. Okay, the reality is in that, not what you are offering. Yeah, if you can offer, definitely you should offer, but with love and devotion and sincerity. That is the basic criteria. Right? In Bhagavad Gita also he says, right? Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome bhaktya upahrati. And he says, right, what? With love and devotion. Right? That is very important. Whatever you're offering, be it a fruit, flower, leaf, or water, anything, but you offer with love and devotion. That is the main thing. Okay? So with this, we have completed. Okay? Chapter 10 we have completed. So devotees, if you have any doubt,